Hello and welcome to the After Show Afterthoughts. Here with me, Lynnie Godfrey, and my Andis Salvo. Boy, did we have a good time.
Yeah, we had a great time.
Yes.
Fabulous time.
It's really good to see you. We talk on the phone, but it's good to see you, face to face. And that's the one good thing about Zoom because we get a chance to do that,
Yeah,
from
it's,
time to time.
I know.
But how many, I, and that hour went so quickly. It's unbelievable.
Well, you
Because
have a great
we went,
interview.
yeah, thank you. But once you start talking about the art and you start talking about where we are in our lives
Mhm.
and how everything, has evolved, where we thought, where we thought I didn't even think about where I was going back then. I just was thinking in the moment that this was, we were in a show, we were working, and the show was working.
I know it was like, people say, did you make a plan? And I said, well, no. I mean, I just kind of, living in the moment is the best, they always say.
Yes, yes, yes,
But
exactly.
I think we always just felt that everything would just continue the way it was.
And
It
it
was.
was, and it did, and it did, and it did, and it did. But traditionally, as it does for the women in our business, after you get to a certain point, it takes on a whole nother theme, and it does encourage us. And I really do. I do take that encouragement to do different things. It made me sing more. I did my act more. I wrote a book. And you're in the book, by the way. Yeah, you're in the book. And then I started directing more,
Mhm.
and it it just gave me other choices that gave me joy and responsibilities and balanced me out. But the more things I decided to do, the more particular I was about what it was that I was lending my talents to and my time to. I
Yeah.
think time is a very important thing. I belong to a lot of organizations, and when I first get into them, you know how I am. I'm, gung ho, and people like that, but sometimes it can take up a lot of your
Oh,
time and energy.
right,
So
exactly.
I've had to get to the point where I relegate only a certain amount of time to these organizations, and
Mhm.
then I do this. This is just it's a wonderful exercise. It's a wonderful discipline. I have to tell you, it really is.
And long as you're staying creative and reinventing yourself. I think the idea of reinvention, I remember I did a role in Diane Keaton's first feature. And she said to me, she said, you really better start, thinking about working both sides of the camera. She said, because as you get older, the roles are going to be less and less and less. And
Yeah.
right after I did that movie with her, I took a little writing course, a little film course, how to make
Mhm.
a
Mhm.
short, and that's when I wrote Women Without Implants,
Mhm.
which was my first attempt at writing and directing.
And it
And
was fun. It was fun. That was
oh
fun.
yeah, I forgot. Lenny was in that. That's right.
Yes.
I forgot from the other. We just had talked about that in the other conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it turned out to play all over the world. It
Yeah.
played all over Europe, New Zealand, Australia.
Mhm.
So and it did well. I'm still getting residuals from it. It won some awards.
Mhm.
So who the hell knew? And then you
Exactly.
just you just keep reinventing yourself.
You do. You
Now
do.
I'm teaching. I'm a professor as well as writing and directing and continuing to act. And why not do everything?
Well, you are, as they called it, hyphenated. At first you were the actor, and that's what we were. And you do have to pay attention and devote the time to establishing that so people understand who you are. But what they don't get is that we were young and it was at the very beginning of what we were doing. Even though we were really good at it, we weren't at the pinnacle of what our craft was. You don't get that until almost now,
Yeah, exactly.
but thank God we were strong enough for them to say, okay, then you can do this, you can do that, you can do this, you can do that. Uh, but as usual, as it comes to all people in our business, no matter what race, religion, or color, what doesn't it doesn't matter. It changes. The pacing changes, and in my case, there are some things that are done, but it's just not my cup of tea. So when you
Well,
don't
you have to
see,
do what you're called. You have to go to whatever calling you have.
yes,
And there's certain things that when I think back of the things that I turned down, um, but you have to be true to yourself
self, you
throughout
do.
the creative process.
Yeah,
If you don't want to write something, you don't want to, act in something,
yeah.
you don't want to be involved in something. You just have to be true to
You
yourself.
have to, you can't do it for someone else, and you can't do it, well, maybe if I do, you really have to decide and stand by your ground. And all of us have done some things. You kind of, you've been offered something or an opportunity, and you kind of go, no, I'm not doing that. And at some point in time, it made you think, maybe if I did this, this opportunity would come. But how would you, the
Feel about
consciousness
yourself.
of it, how do you live with it, if it doesn't turn out the way you want to, if it turns out that you have to compromise yourself even more than you thought, and now you're under contract, you're under this, you're under that. In my case, I'm always thinking about that. That's an important thing for me. It really is. Yeah,
If you lose yourself, you lose everything.
I
I
agree.
mean, I think if you sell yourself short,
Yeah.
nothing is worth that.
No,
Nothing is worth that.
no, no, no.
And I think anything can happen, and it's up to us to continue to create opportunities for ourselves, whether it's writing, whether it's getting together with a group of people and listening to your work online, getting involved in, still doing productions,
Mhm.
doing some independent films, all of that is makes me feel very alive.
Well, it's because it's all a creative process. It's what we got in the business to be creative. Now, being rich and famous is a lovely bonus. But, and I always want to be able to buy what I want to buy when I want to buy it. I'm not going to lie to you with that. And I've always managed my life so that that could happen, whether I'm working here or something else. But the incentive wasn't the rich part. It was really getting in there and doing those challenging things. I mean, I would see people do wonderful roles, and I go, gee, I'd like to do that. I'd like to do that. Maybe not that same role, but I'd like to get the opportunity to delve into that. And then it turns into something else. Yeah, but in order to do that, sometimes people pay you a lot of money. And that's great. That is fabulous. I'm not against that. But when your motivation is only that, I just want to be, what did somebody say to me? They came to me because their child wanted to start acting. And the young lady came up to me and she said, I want to be a Broadway actress. I said, don't you think maybe you just want to be an actor, period? You know,
Mm-hmm.
Broadway is a place. It's not a status, it's a place,
No, I
and
mean, I had a student come to me once, and he said to me, "I want to be a star." I said, "Sit down and do the work.
mhm,
You
mhm,
know, sit
mhm.
down and do the work. Learn how to be a great actor. That's
Exactly.
that's what you
That's
learn how
and
to do."
that is, I mean, I think that's the bottom line for me is that, and you get there because you have put in the work, and then you deserve to get all the rewards. And of course, it's timing, and it's who you know, and it's luck, and it's blessings, and all those things. But there are those people who get there and they're not prepared, and they don't stay there very long. And
Mhm.
you can see because they can't handle it. They can't
Yeah.
handle it.
No, I mean, you have to have the skill,
Yeah,
and and you'll get experience if you have skill.
yeah,
Because people will want you,
yeah.
but you can't just think that you're going to arrive as a star. I mean, I
From
was very
what? Given what? I mean, what do people think a star is? What they think a star is someone who's very recognizable, and that's what they're thinking about. It's the status of it, not the skill that gets you to that point. You know, what interests me now is I was looking at what is it? Hello Sunshine, by Reese Witherspoon's company that they sold for $900 million or something like that. The allegiance of women to be able to come together and create things that in their case, they took books and they made books, storylines, because they were offered it, because she was offered so early, because she is an Academy Award winning actress. And she'd get the book, and she had the advantage of turning the book into the movies. So it's an incentive thing to think that not doing that, but an allegiance of people coming together that find a way of being creative, because of the simple fact you don't rely on somebody else to be creative for you.
Mhm.
And that's where I am, that's really where I am now. I mean, I think that there's some very creative people. I do believe, though, a lot of creative people were in the business when we first started, and they were older, and they have gone on, to retire or to pass away. So there's a torch that is passed on, and you have to be, I think, inventive to,
You have to sometimes push your own rock up the hill,
yep.
or sometimes you
Mhm.
have to just, decide, what would I like to do now? Would I like to
Exactly,
would I
exactly.
like to produce? Would I like? I mean, Angelica Houston said, I mean, she was having a hard time getting work, and she said, you either feel sorry for yourself or you create your own work.
Exactly.
That's what I did, and that's what you do. and
Mhm,
and
mhm.
and I started writing, and I wrote the short, and then it played everywhere, and then I did a feature, and it was at the Beverly Connection here in Los Angeles for a couple of weeks.
Mhm.
And then I started, I wrote a TED Talk.
Mhm.
Um, I'm a professor, and I'm still working, not like I used to, like nowhere near like I used to, but
No, but I don't think anybody does all the time. I don't think we do all the time. I don't think we should expect to do that all the time. In reality, had I looked back, I would have been able to pace myself a little bit better, thinking, this is always going to happen.
yeah,
But it
exactly.
doesn't always happen, but you can get more selective. And again, my thing, far more people than I do. I just don't know anybody. I mean, I work and I love working, but my balance, when mommy and daddy were alive, my balance was always to, go home and be with them and laugh and joke, and that was the alternative to go to the places and the parties and meeting the people. And I love meeting the people, but that time in my life, I chose the family. So there are a lot of relationships with people that they have now that I don't have, because I didn't create them a while back, and that's an important part of it too. That's what I've learned. I learned that that has to be a part of what we do also.
It's a
Not
big
necessarily, not
it's
necessarily networking, but knowing people, making relationships. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then you get sidetracked, I mean, there's other things I'm interested in. I'm interested in studying languages.
Mhm.
I started a book club. I mean, not everything is show
I
business.
know, I know. That's what the balances of life. I mean, I had to take mommy and daddy both got ill. So taking care of them, taking care of Joanne, all of that. And being married and maintaining and making that relationship work, wanting a full life,
Mhm.
traveling with Carl and traveling around so that, his job took him all over the world and took us different places, and making the career work in different places, working in Europe and working, in different states in the United States. So that was the path of life for me. And
I
now
mean,
that, now that we're back here, it's really great. It's
yeah,
great.
yeah. And you call it, you create
Yeah,
it,
you do.
and that's that. And
Yeah.
you don't have to answer to anybody but yourself.
No,
And
it is, this particular venue that I have created now with the radio, and then you go from the radio to the video, and then making that available to people so that people can see it, and so that they can archive the stories. A lot of the stories that we tell, people have never heard before,
yeah.
because we don't get those kinds of questions when we do those shows. They talk about the show that you're currently doing and maybe what you want to do next or what you're going to do next. But our own backstory stories, we don't get a chance to archive. So a lot
Yeah.
of this is doing that, you know.
Yeah, today I was just going through, I was in the internet and I just kind of hit on Audrey Hepburn being interviewed by Phil Donahue. I never even knew that occurred.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about her life. It was shortly before she got cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she even had cancer then. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But all these stories about her life and, yes, about her career, but also about her life.
Life.
And
That's
it was so interesting to hear her speak about her life experiences, as well as movie stuff, and you
yeah.
know, being such a young age. Her first movie, she won an Oscar, and she's just so extraordinary looking, and
Mm-hmm.
she
Mm-hmm.
still looks so beautiful. She was at 60,
Yeah.
and she still looked remarkable. Anyway, yeah. So the full picture, and again, this is all a journey for all of us. We're just journeying through this 24 hours, 7 days a week, 30 days a month,
Mm-hmm.
365 a year.
Yeah.
And, you know, so many unknowns, so
So
many
it's always
why do
been.
things happen? Why
Yeah.
do you why do you bump into this person? Why do you do this movie? Why do you marry this person? Why do you become friends with this person?
Mm-hmm.
All so many unknowns,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it just becomes your own passage and your own
It,
journey.
it really is. You don't become aware of it until you slow down a little bit. And then you see that all of it, even though things came, they came, but it was unknown before it came. The telephone that call that comes when somebody saw you do something 6 months ago that you did because someone asked you to help and fill in for somebody else. And that particular moment, it gave somebody an incentive or a memory, and they said, oh, I want that kind of talent. It's also it's very, some of it is planned, but a lot of it is not. And you just, I think when you decide to be in this business, that's one of the things that you have to accept about it. You have to protect yourself, as we do doing some of the conventional things, so that we can earn a living. But
Mhm.
there's a part of us that's always taking that risk. We are the risk takers.
Oh, absolutely.
You know
Oh gosh. Oh,
what
hold on.
happened? What happened?
Yeah, somebody just rang my doorbell, and I said I can't. I'm being interviewed, and they left their phone here, but they'll come tomorrow for it.
Oh, okay, okay,
Anyway, I had to just check that.
okay.
Yeah. So,
Well,
what else?
yeah, it's just one of those things where it is part of what you accepted. A lot of people say to me, "Oh, that's a rough business." I said, you know what? Um, Being a migrant worker and picking potatoes is a rough business. That's what's rough. The benefits that we have here, if you work it right, if you don't get to the point where you say, this is the only thing that I can do and I can't do anything else, well, then you're painting yourself into a corner. But if you give yourself a range, you have such a range and choices that you can have in this business. And it's such a joy to be able to do that. It's a joy. There's some people now, we are, I do have to say, there's some people that don't have that range, and they can do just the one thing,
Mhm.
and they do it well, and that's really wonderful. For those of us who do, and we have a large choice, and it's a wonderful life. And I don't mean just the movie.
Oh,
it,
no, no, I mean all of it. I mean, when it's good, it's really good.
good.
I mean,
Good. Yeah.
but, going back to the why we became actors, the art of it, the opportunity to become a whole other human being, body, mind, spirit, is a very, very exciting thing to do
Very.
with your life. I mean, what better way than to create another human being, another voice, another way of seeing things,
Mhm.
a soul who's trapped, a soul,
Exactly.
a spirit that's wounded, and to actually have that live in your body
To
and
delve into it. Exactly.
present it to
Mhm.
other people. I mean, people go to the theater and go to movies because they want to see themselves up there. They want
Yeah.
to know, oh, I'm not the only one who's screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the only one who feels insecure. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not the only one that feels powerless. And
Yeah.
that's why people go to the movies.
Exactly. They want to see that vulnerability. They don't want to, they want to see you present the perfection, and then you show the vulnerability, why there's not a perfection. And I always tell actors, I said, I ask them very simply. So have you ever thought about, is this character left-handed or right-handed? And they look at me. I said, you're creating a person.
Mhm.
Person. Just the characteristics of a person gives you the definition of who they are.
Mhm.
And there's another life that, the world sees everything as a right-handed person. When you're left-handed, there's a whole nother adjustment that you have to make. Watches are not made for people who are left-handed. They're
Mhm.
made for people who are right-handed. So and that's why digitals are so great now for left-handed people, because they don't have to wind up the little thing on, you just put the battery in. It's
Mhm.
it's an interesting kind of method, I think, that people don't think about. What they think about is the joy that we have, because in doing it, we celebrate it so much. They think, well, it can't be work. It's not work. It's, they're sitting home and they think about they eating bonbons, and then, they got a 8 o'clock curtain. So they don't start thinking about it until 7:30. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you're thinking, okay, let me dissipate from the regular world, and let me go into the
Yeah.
theater world, and let me start zoning into there. And there's a slow process that happens, and you
Uh,
get into a routine. Yeah.
I mean, you have to start as a performer. I mean, if you really want to be at your absolute maximum, you have to. I mean, I start preparing, in the afternoon. That
Yes, so
like
do I.
I
Mm-hmm.
lie, I take a nap, I lie
Mm-hmm.
down
Mm-hmm.
because I want to make sure when I'm
Good.
on that stage at 8 o'clock, my burst of energy, my presence,
Exactly.
I have it all going on, and my focus and my concentration. It's like being a professional athlete, you know.
It's exactly what
Yeah,
it is.
it's like
I remember agents being angry with me because, I wouldn't audition after 3 or 4 o'clock. And, after I said, really, if you have something that's at 11, 12, I'll get up, I'll concentrate on that, I'll do that. But I got to come back and I got to get in the zone for what I got to do tonight. I can't, I can't do it at 5:30 and then rush to the theater. And then, it's like a switch.
well, I'll tell you, I was playing Woody Allen's sister in Stardust Memories,
Mhm.
and I mean, I would get up at like 4 o'clock. They pick me up maybe 5 o'clock, take me all the way to Brooklyn, drive me to Brooklyn, and then and I would work an all day, expending all that energy, and I told them that I would only do it, provided I could do my show at night.
Mhm.
And so then I take a taxi from Brooklyn to the theater. And one night I got there at like, oh, just before 7:30. I mean, I made it by the skin of my teeth. And I was exhausted from working all day long, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I went on stage, and I will say that it was not my best work
Mhm.
because I had no time to come down from it all. I
Mhm.
was playing another character all day long. My physical energy, I was in my 20s, but still. And I went on, and I wasn't, I said I'd never, ever do that again
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I really didn't like how I felt.
Yeah.
And
Well,
uh,
we talked about doing theater in Los Angeles. One of the reasons why, I did theater in Los Angeles, but I had signed on to do just like 3 weeks of it, and then it was supposed to end. During the rehearsal into the production, I got a television series, and I didn't say anything. So I'd get up in the morning, and it was in Valencia.
mhm.
I get up in the morning, I drive to Valencia, I'd work, they would paint me green and all this other kind of stuff. It was a crazy thing. Um, and I'd be finished by about 3 o'clock, 3:30. I drive home, I took a nap, then I would go to the theater. I did this for 1 week of the 3-week run. At the end of the last week, the producer announced that he had extended the run. Never asked anybody, he just had extended it. And I said to them, I said, I can't. I said, I'm dying here. I'm doing the best that I can. I mean, because everybody else was, they had their days free. They would go to the beach or they would, relax. I had made this commitment and I thought, well, I can do it for a week. I can't do it for more than a week, but I can do it for a week. And I told the agents, I said, I think I can do it for a week. I can do it for a week. It's not full 8 performances. It was from Thursday through Sunday. I'd finished that week. I was so wiped out. I didn't even know my name. I slept for a day and a half.
No,
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Now everybody in the production was angry with me because I did leave. I left, and they had to bring in somebody, an understudy. I don't know what happened ultimately after that. But what they didn't understand is that I was doing double duty and didn't want to interrupt it at the very beginning and say, look, I got to go. I thought, no, I can do this for a week, but I can't sustain it for longer than that. That's all I got. That's all I got for you. It's
again, your instrument.
yes,
your
you
body.
do. Yeah.
And if your body can't do it, your body can't do it.
I couldn't. I knew I could do it for a week, and it had there been an announcement, had there then been a consultation of even asking us, but it wasn't. No one was asked. I wasn't asked. I was just told you're going to do it. We're going to do it for 2 more weeks. I went, not me, because they had Mondays off. I didn't have Mondays off.
Yeah, exactly.
I was in the studio on Mondays, so I didn't have any days off. Man, you bring yourself into, right. So yeah, you that was one of the instances where I look back on it, and there are times in your life where the performance was absolutely brilliant, but the understanding of people, a lot of people just didn't get it. They didn't, and I didn't speak about it, so they didn't know everything that was going on anyway till the very last minute. Mm-hmm. It's interesting. It just is.
It is, but every business has these kinds of caveats, has these kinds of things. I mean, everybody, like somebody says to me, "Oh, that business, there's a lot of crazies in that business."
Yeah.
But have you ever worked with a bunch of lawyers?
Corporate people, yes, corporate people in general. I mean, I worked at Exxon from the time that I was senior in high school until I graduated college. Corporate people are very interesting. A lot of drama. We get paid to do drama, so exactly. Okay.
We get it out of our system.
Exactly, but they have major drama up and through there. So
yeah. I mean, every business has their level of craziness, and their specific, element of it. In my lifetime, some of the craziest people I have met have been dentists.
I agree.
They are, yeah, we have a lot of actors are, have neuroses.
Yeah, we're neurotic. We're, we're oversensitive. We're a whole lot of those are things because we have to be in order to be naked 8 times a week.
Yeah, I mean, I've said to people, this business isn't for everyone.
No.
You have to, if you're not driven, if you don't be an actor unless you have to be an actor. I
agree. I don't encourage people to do it.
Like I remember at one point my sister called me. She had 3 children, and her second child, son, was like in high school, and he was really getting into theater. She said, "Annie's talking to me about being an actor, and I really don't want him to become an actor because I know what you've been through and how, your business is, how crazy it is." I said, "Listen, it makes him feel good. It gives him confidence. Leave him alone. Let him follow his passions. If he really, really wants to be an actor, I know you, and you're not going to stop him. And I will do everything in my power to help him. But let him find his passion. Introduce them to everything. and see what makes him happy, because that's really the best choice in life, is to do something that you want to do. I know so many people became doctors or lawyers because their parents wanted them to,
Yep.
and they have a little bitterness in them that they never tried to do.
There, resentment. There's resentment. There's regret. You know, you know, there's a lot of that. You constantly that phone. You
I know. Oh God, it's. Can you hold till I just give him his
just,
phone?
you know what? I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna pause us, and then we'll okay. Hold on. We're gonna take a pause. So now we're back, and that was quick. All right.
Yeah.
But we talk about the fact that so many people do the jobs that they do so they can make the money, so they ultimately can retire and do what they want to do if they live that long.
Yeah.
I mean, some people make it to that point and they have a nice retirement. Some people just have a little bit of retirement, but they've lived most of their lives going to a job that they absolutely cannot stand at all. Now, Carl grieved when he retired. He really did and does miss that, but he misses a work that doesn't exist anymore because now it's all computerized and that gives him a headache, you know but he misses what it was before. And maybe that's what I do too in our business. I miss a little bit of what it was. The business has evolved now. It's not like it was when we first got into it. It's different. It's different. And I do miss that, but I do like the excitement of learning something new, you know, directing in Zoom and doing Zoom presentations and doing conversations on Zoom. That really, it does challenge me. And that's because my father used to say to me, he called me computer head. He said, all right, computer head, go figure this out, figure this VHS. And that was before the computers, but he just would say that. I have that kind of curiosity, but it's a different business because of it. It isn't
Oh,
the same.
it's a very different business, and but things evolve. I mean, when we came into it, people probably in the 40s and 50s and 60s and early 70s were saying, "Oh, it's a different business." And
Business.
when we came along, so
Exactly.
it's just the way that it rolls
But
out.
exactly. I mean, my music, and I listen to the music now and I go, oh, not my kind of music. I got to go back to what I really enjoy. I got to listen to some Luther Vandross. I said, I need that. I need the balladeer, I need that. But I don't discount what young people listen to today. I listen to it and I go, well, if you got it and you understand it, good. Okay. I'm good. You like it. I love it.
Cole Porter is probably
Ah,
rolling over in his grave with some of these lyrics on. I mean,
ooh, ooh.
I, I, I can't even tell you some of the things I have heard. I mean,
Oh, I don't hear
else,
because
and it's
first of all, I can't catch it because it's too fast, and I go, okay, I will never be able to do this.
understand.
No,
It's
I
just
can't even talk that fast.
one lyric that is repeated over and over again. I can't even say the words,
Yeah,
but let me do this to you. Let me do this
yeah,
to you. Let me do
yeah.
this to you. You hear me,
I
baby?
can't get. I can't. I don't understand how that becomes a colloquial phrase. That it is a common phrase. It used to be that if someone said something like that, you'd slap their face.
Mhm.
You know, but now it's I guess and they know who to call that, who to say it to, and who to call that. You know, if that's what you do and that's what you allow that to happen, okay, good for you. That's your thing, not my thing. Just not my thing. Just not my thing. My love, you have endured me for almost 2 hours.
It's not endured. You're a treasure. You're a treasure to the world, and I think what you're doing is of tremendous
Oh,
value. And you should. I hope that you're making some tapes of this, or
well, I have them all archived in my own records, and we'll see. Like we said in the radio show, we don't know what can come of it. A lot of things can come of this. As I've been very blessed. I talk about when I had Ken Page on. I said, Ken Page, you're not the friend that I've known the longest. I said, I'm going to have her on. He said, who is it? Who is it? I said, It's Annie. It's Annie. You know,
Oh.
you and Alvin Alexis, I met at the same time.
But
And, you know,
what's Godfrey up to? I thought about him. Did he move back to
oh
New
my
York?
gosh, he does everything. He's in St. Louis now, and he you know all of he travels a lot because of the characterizations that he's done in the films, the boogeyman and all of that. Oh, it's wonderful. But he's getting ready to come to New York to do his cabaret at Studio 54. I think it's September the 7th. You know, Carl and I are making plans to be in his audience, but he's never stopped. He's taking care of family. And he is the one that the glue that keeps that all together. And then the day that we had an interview, he's like you, he was moving. And I thought, well, Paige, we will just, you know, and it's okay. I'll get on and I'll talk about something. He said, oh, no, no, no. He's just like you. You know, he went, no, we're going to do this. Just give me a chance. I'm going to go home and shower. I'm going to brush my hair. And next thing I know, there he was. And, you know, it's because of you all that this is so very, very, it's so much of a joy to do. It's a visitation. But it's also with everybody else listening in. I get emails from people and I get texts from people. I get notices on Facebook. What a great story. What great stories. Thank you very much for the insight. What great inspiration. You know, I think that because we're not as visible as we used to be, our stories are very, very important to those people who didn't hear them, you know, and this allows that to happen. And I'm going to try to continue to do it as long as I possibly can,
I
and
think
you know,
it's a great
interwove
idea.
it into the rest of my life. I really do enjoy it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you should because it's valuable and you're charming and you're funny and you're beautiful. And
Oh, look at
it's,
you. Well, and right back to you, Diva.
thank you, thank you.
Yes, you know.
All righty. Well, listen,
All
I
right.
have enjoyed this. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and it's been my pleasure.
Thank you so much, my love.
All
Thank you.
right.
Thank
You
you.
too,
All right.
darling.
Bye-bye.
Love you. Okay.
Love you. Bye-bye.